Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Think Once Code Anywhere. So today let us discuss about some MCQs question from C programming so that we can master the entire basics of C. And let me tell you why C programming is the most important programming language still, right? So if you are attending Microsoft Drive or if you are going with any Amazon Drive or kind of stuff, and if you have any MCQs question, right? So in that case, definitely you will have a minimum of five programs or 5 questions from the language of C, right? So it is universally followed language, and if you are completely strong in C, you can learn Java or Python within a month, right? So that's the main thing why still companies are focusing on C programming, right? So let us discuss some questions that is based on C. And you already know about hash include stdio.h, and this is nothing but the header file for all the programs, right? So this is nothing but the header file for a C program, and this is the entry point for any program, right? So entry point, and here it can also be given as int main, or else it can also be given as void main, right? So in two ways you can give your entry point for a program. That is either main function should always start either with void main, or it can also be int main, right? So and next is, here comes your first MCQ. So if of 0, and here I have printf high, right? So if the program is like this, right? So if the program is int main and directly printf high, then my final output will be displayed as just high alone. See here, it is just giving us high as output. But in case if I have the same thing, if of 0 and if I have printf high, then what will be my output, right? So in that case my output will be nothing, right? So if of 0 represents, so here we have to note something like 0 means false, and other than 0 any number, right? So other than 0 any number constitutes it is true, right? So 0 means false, other than 0 if we have any number, it is considered to be true. Say for example, in the same program, if I give a number as number 2, right? So if I give if of 2, it will be considered as, right? So this if block will be considered as true, and final output is going to be just high alone. So let us just compile this and see here, your output is just displayed as high, right? So same way, what if I have a decimal number? Say for example, if you have 2.456, so again my output is going to be high itself, right? So it is based on the values, right? So if it is purely a 0, in that case my program won't give me any output, right? So but if it is other than 0 with any other number, in that case I can expect my output to be printed, right? So this is going to be our first program, and let us go with the second. Okay, so your second program is if of 1 and you have high. So as I told you earlier, if of 1, right? So it will be considered as a true block, right? So this will be considered as true block, so your output is going to be high itself, right? So for this program your output is going to be high. Now let us go with the next program. So here I have float a equal to 0.1, right? So a is equal to 0.1, and I just want to print, if the condition is true I will be printing high, right? So if condition is true I will be printing high, else there won't be any output for my program, right? So what will be my final output in this case? Okay, so here I have 0.1. I clearly told you, if the values which we are passing inside the if condition is equivalent to 0, my output will be always false. But if we have 0.1 or 0. Any other value, say for example if you have 0.000 and at last 4, again this will be considered as true block, right? So only if it is purely 0 and every stuff is equal to 0, in that case my output will be false. But if I have at least one digit as non-zero value in the entire sequence or in the entire decimal values, my output will be considered as true. So if I compile this program, my output will be equivalent to high, right? So the thing is, here 0.1 is considered as a true value. Same way, if I have something like 0.000 and 1, and again if I compile the same code, I am going to receive the output as high itself, right? So this is how the program execute, and let us move to the next program. So next program is 0.0. so hope already we have discussed this, so there won't be any output now. So since it is 0.0, there won't be any output displayed on the screen, right? Okay, so I hope already we have discussed the next program also. So that is 0.001. so if of a, so if this condition is true, I'll be printing high, else you are going to print hello as the output, right? So for this code, my final output is going to be high, right? So here my final output will be high, but what happens, yes, so I have forgot to remove the previous code, right? So here what happens is my output will be equivalent to high, right? So see, you can see the output screen that is printed with the output as high. Now if I just modify this to 0, in that case my output will be hello, right? So if of a, where a will be completely a false statement, so it is giving me the output as hello, right? So now let us move the next program. Okay, so next code is, okay, so int a equal to 5, and now I am going to check with this particular statement. So if a equal to, right? So if a equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, so in that case let us see what happens over here, right? So a value is 5 and it is giving us the output as high. The thing is, whatever mathematical operations I give inside a if condition, it will be always considered as true, right? So it will happen inside a if condition. So inside this if, I am adding 1 for 5 times, so it will be modified as 5, and I am checking with whether a is equal to this value or not. Same way, if I try to remove at least one value from this, and if I try to execute the program, now my output will be equivalent to hello, right? So see here, your output is displayed as hello over now, right? So this is how your program executes whenever you have a mathematical expressions inside your if condition, right? So now let us move the next program. So your next program is something different one, like see what happens here. I am checking whether 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is for 5 times, is equivalent to this. So if I compile this code, let us see what magic it happens. So see, it is again giving you high, as I have told you in the earlier case. So whatever mathematical expressions you are giving, it will be always executed inside a if condition. As a result, 5 times 1 is over here in the left side, as well as 5 times 1 is over there in the right side. So this 1 will be added for 5 times. As a result, it gives something like 5 equal to 5, right? So it will give something like 5 equal to 5, and my input, that is my if condition, is true, so it is displaying the output as high. What if I change any value to some other numbers, right? So in this case, again my output is going to be hello, right? So if of that condition will be false, so it is going to print hello. And if I remove these two ones, right? So I have 3 plus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 5, and now my output will be equivalent to high, right? For this code, your output is displayed as high, right? So it is based on the mathematical functions which we have given inside our program, right? So let us move the next program. And what about if of true and false, right? So if of true, again my condition is true, so it will print high, and if it is false, it will go with hello, right? But you might think it will work, but still here true and false is not considered, right? So for if condition in C programming, right? So for if condition, always it requires a number, right? So it requires a number and not a boolean value, where true or false is a boolean value, right? So make sure that always we are passing something as a number value here, and if you give true or false, it will never consider the same, right? So it will never consider that, and that is the main reason why we are getting this program as error, right? So let us move the next program. Okay, so now see here, if I give if of true, right? So here what happens is if of true will be considered, right? So in the previous code I had something like see, in the previous code I had something like TRUE, right? So it is again a case sensitive one. So here what happens is, now I am giving a default value that is available in C, so now it will be considered as a true block. So now it will be considered as true block, and it will give you high, right? So make sure that true is different from true, right? So the true so case sensitive one is also an important one to be noted in C programming. So make sure that whatever case values you are giving, it should belong to the complete programming language. So here this true is nothing but a keyword available in C, so that it is considering high and it is printing the same. So what if I give false instead of this, right? So if I give false instead of this, my output is going to be hello, right? So now for this program, we receive the output as hello, right? So now let us move the next program. Okay, so now here what happens is, So I have if condition and I have printf hello, right? So I have printf hello alone. So what will be the output for this code? So even a printf and each and every printf as well as a scanf statement in C programming has a return type, right? So each and every statement has a return type, and here what happens is I have given printf hello inside my if condition, right? So what happens is this printf will be executed. As a result, this hello will be displayed on my output screen, and hello has exactly 5 characters, right? So hello has 5 characters. So the return type for this if condition will be like if of 5. Right, so it will be replaced as if of 5. So if of 5 is nothing but if of any if of a non-zero value. So if of non-zero value is always true. So if I have one more condition here like printf hi, right? So if I have one more condition like printf hi inside this if condition, so my output is going to be hello and hi, right? So my output is going to be hello and hi for this program. Let us see what happens here. So here it is giving hello as well as hi as our output, right? So what if I have nothing over here, right? So if I have just nothing over here, then again in my output screen I can see nothing printed, right? So printf, so I'm going to use nothing, right? So the thing is inside this printf, right? So inside line number 8 I have nothing given here, just open quotes is given. So it is not going to print anything. It means that it is going to return 0 characters. So we very well know if of 0, right? So if of 0 is considered as false. As a result, our output is going to be nothing, right? So see here, our output is displayed as nothing over here, right? So instead of this one, if I have at least one space is also considered as a character. As a result, your output is going to be high, right? See here, your output is displayed as high, and this is how your program works, right? So now let me just remove this. Let us move with the next program, right? So next program is something based on the same one, right? So we have nothing here, so my final output is also going to be no values, right? So nothing will be displayed on your final output. So already we have discussed the same. And if of null, right? So again this is going to print null, right? So since it is enclosed within double quotes, your output will be equivalent to null for this case, right? So let me compile and show you the program, right? So let us compile this. Now you can see the output as displayed as null, right? So this null is not a keyword. So do remember, this null is not a keyword, so it can display the final output, right? So now let us remove this one and compile the next program, right? So here we are going to print %d comma 0. So what happens is it is going to display the final output as 0 itself. So again here I have to return at least one characters, right? So the return value will be equivalent to 1, right? So return value will be 1. So if of 1 will be considered as true, right? So based on this, my final output is going to be 0, right? So hope you can see the output printed as 0 over here. So this is how this program works, right? So same way, if I just give print of 0, right? So if I give print of 0 and if I try to execute the same program, again my return value is going to be 1, right? So my return value will be 1, so it will execute as if of true, right? So anyhow this printf statement will be executed, right? So now let us move the next program. So what about assignment, right? So here we are just assigning a value to the object a, right? So we have a variable a that is declared here as an integer, and now I am just giving print of %d comma 0. So now after this, if I try to print the value of a, right? So if I try to print the value of a as a is %d comma a, right? So if I give one more statement over here, now let us see what magic it is going to do. So final output will be equivalent to 0 as well as 1, right? So it is printing 0, and it is also saying the value of a is equal to 1, right? So it is mainly because of the values which we have passed. Instead of this, if I give 12, right? So if I give 12 instead of 0, this is going to print 12 in my output screen. As a result, the printf statement is going to return the output as 2, right? So printf statement will return the output as 2. That 2 is now stored inside a as a result, right? So a has an integer value, so if of condition is true, so it will display the output as a value is %d comma a. So now let us see the output over here. So now the output should be 12 and a is equal to 2, right? So this is how your program works, right? So let us move the next program. Okay, so next program is, so we have if of int a equal to printf percentage d and 0 value, right? So now what should be your output? So again it is going to be 0 itself, and here we are not trying to print the value of a, right? So if I try to print the value of a, again the value of a is going to be equal to 1, right? Okay, now let us move the next question, right? So next question we have something like a equal to printf percentage d comma 0, where I am checking whether it is greater than -1 or not, right? So here what happens is a will be assigned with this value 0, right? So it is not 0, it will be assigned with the value that is based on the return type of this printf statement, and this printf statement will be giving the value as 1, and 1 is greater than -1. So now this part will be executed. So final output is going to be 0, right? So final output is going to be 0, and this is completely based on this value, right? So now let us move that next program. Okay, so here we have scanf statement. So as I told you earlier, each and every printf statement as well as scanf statement has some return value with it, right? So printf statement as well as scanf statement has a return values, and here we have scanf percentage d comma ampersand a, right? So we are going to take the input for the variable a. As a result, scanf statement will return, right? So scanf statement will return number of inputs it is taking, right? So number of inputs it is being received from the user, right? So here I am taking exactly one input from the user. As a result, this scanf statement will be replaced with the number 1, right? So it is going to be replaced with number 1. So if of 1 it will be true, and now we are going to print the value of a also. Let us compile this. So first there won't be anything on my screen. If I give the input as 109 or whatever number it is, at once I press enter, the same number is going to be displayed once again. It is because we are receiving the input inside the if condition. After receiving the input, based on the if condition whether it is true or false, we are going to execute the printf statement. So now printf statement again returns you the same input, right? So now let us move the next program. So here I am just using a scanf percentage d comma ampersand a. So now I am going to get one input from the user, but we have 2 percentage d, right? So then what will happen here? So it will consider that without throwing any errors, and if I give number as, it will take 2 numbers, but it won't assign the remaining numbers, right? So since I have given percentage d twice, it will check for 2. It will receive 2 input from the user, but only one number is now stored inside a, that is the very first number will be stored inside a, and we are trying to print the value of a, and the second number will never be considered. So let us compile this once again. I am giving the input as 1 and 2, and at last it is just displaying the output as 1 alone, right? So this is completely based on the input which we are going to give to the user, right? So let us move the next program. Okay, so here we have a scanf statement, right? So we have a scanf statement, and here nothing is received from the user. So scanf will return 0, right? So in this case, since there is no percentage d or no format specifiers are there, it will return the output as 0. As a result, there won't be any output, right? So it will give you the output as nothing, right? So no output will be displayed. And if you want to check this further, right, so just give something like printf and hello. Right, so if I just give printf hello, my final output is going to be hello alone. So see, my final output is now displayed as hello. Now let us move the next program. Okay, so in next program, see, we have something like hello, as well as inside this if condition we have hi. So I think we don't want to compile this program, right? So and one more thing, we have a semicolon over here, right? So up to previous programs, we have never seen something like having a semicolon over here. So now what will happen? Right, so let us try to compile this code and see whether it is throwing any errors or it is compiling the same, right? So here what will happen is it will compile the entire process, right? So it will compile the entire process. So it is giving you hello as well as hi, right? So we very well know the semicolon is actually used for a termination statement, right? So for terminating an entire statement, we used to use the symbol as semicolon. So here what happens is I have a if condition as well as I have a else block, so it executes perfectly, right? So this bracket is of no use now, right? So let us move with the next program. So and guys, I will be attaching the entire programs as a document file in the description link, right? So now your next program is going to be a easier one. So here I have if of 1, right? So int a is there and no values are being initialized for a. Now I have if of 1. So based on this I am going to give print the output as either hi or how, right? So here for this program you can expect the output as hi itself, right? But still, why is it printing how, right? So the thing is we have a semicolon, right? So we have a semicolon here. If I remove this semicolon, right? So if I remove this semicolon, my output will be just hi alone. But if I give this semicolon, right? So if I give this semicolon, this else part will be terminated here itself. As a result, the remaining blocks will also be getting executed, right? So the remaining blocks will also be executed. As a result, now I will be displayed with the output as hi as well as how, right? So this is based on the termination part. So here itself I am terminating the else part. As a result, this block has no control with this else. As a result, we are displaying the same output, right? So now let us move the next program. So here we don't have any breaking statement or we don't have any semicolon. So now my output will be just hi alone, right? So now your output is just going to be hi itself. So now see here, what happens is, here I have a if condition and I am terminating the if condition over here, right? So we are terminating the if condition and then I have a else part. So up to previous program we had that semicolon at the last after this else part, but now before this else we have a terminating point. So what happens is, at once I try to compile this code, it will throw an error. So it will throw an error as an else part without an if condition, right? So it will throw an error as else part without if condition, right? So without if, right? So an else part without if condition. So this will be the error for this program, and if I remove this semicolon, your program is going to work fine, right? So it is because since you have given the semicolon, this if condition has been terminated completely. After the termination of if, I have only else part, right? So if I have only else part, it can't look back to the previous if condition, right? So else is it has no head part or it doesn't have any if condition, right? So we very well know if condition can execute without the help of else part, but if I have a else part, it means that it is mandatory to have at least one if condition in our program, right? So now let us move with the next program. So here we have so I have if condition and I have the number 1 and I have given a semicolon over here. So what happens is, again if I try to execute the program, it is going to say the same error, right? So else part without a if condition, right? So now let us move to the next part. So see here, I have a block, if block here, and in if block I have given the number as 1 and I have given a semicolon, right? So what happens is, he as well as LLO will be printed. As a result, your final output is going to be hello, right? So for this program, your final output is going to be hello, and even though I just modify the number 1 to 0, so what happens is, this if block doesn't have control with the remaining part, right? So this if condition doesn't have a control with the remaining if condition, right? So what happens is, the termination, right? So termination statement is given here, that is semicolon is used. So the if doesn't have a control beyond this line number 12. So what happens is, hi chi as well as LLO is also getting printed over now, right? So now even though the value of if condition is 0, you are just getting the output as hello, right? So now let us see the next program. So again the same one, right? So again I have if and 1 and I have given a semicolon and I have a printf statement for this if as well as one more printf statement. So final output is going to be hello itself, because we have completely terminated this if block, right? So I have terminated this if block. So anyhow these two statements will be executed, right? So now let us move the next program. So see here I have if of 0.000 and everything is 0. So if I try to compile this program, you might expect the output should be only LLO, but here we have a semicolon, right? So here we have a semicolon. So what will happen is it is going to print the final output as hello itself, right? So now my final output will be equivalent to hello because I have terminated this entire if condition, right? So we have terminated the if condition. As a result, it is giving us the output as hello. Now let us move the next program. So I have something like not of 0, right? So not of 0 will be any number, so we can also expect the number to be 1, right? So not of 0, this condition will be true, so it is going to print only he, right? So it is going to print the output as just he alone. See, your output is just he. But if I remove this not symbol, right? So if I remove this exclamatory symbol, and that is considered as logical not in terms of programming language, so now my output will be just hi alone. Right, so now your output is going to be just hi alone, right? So let us move the next program. So here we have something like not of any value. So not of any number always gives us false, right? So not of 0 is true and not of any number will be 0 again, where 0 is considered as false, right? So now my output will be hi alone, right? So now you can expect the output to be just hi alone, right? So it is because not of 1 which gives us 0, right? So now let us move the next program where we have something like not of 33 and printf he and hi. So what happens is not of 33 is 0 again and your output is going to be hi. So let us move the next program. So here I have something like not of 0, but still I have a semicolon over here, right? So it means that we are just stopping the control of the if condition. So if I am stopping the control of if condition, I'll be printing he as well as hi, right? So if I try to print the output for this program, my output will be he as well as hi displayed on my screen, right? But still we forgot to note this, right? So we have given a else part, right? So I have a else part along with the semicolon. So what will happen is it will show the output error as else part without a if condition, right? So else part without a if condition. So if I remove this else part, then my output is going to be he as well as hi, right? So now your output is going to be he as well as hi. So now let us move the next program. So now what happens is I have a if condition, if of 1 and I have printf hello and I have a break, right? So we have a break and I have a else part and printf hi, right? So if we have a break inside this, let us see what happens, right? So I have given if of 1, so this program will throw you an error, right? So it is going to throw an error because break statement cannot be used inside conditional statement, right? So break can be used, right? So break can be used only in loops, right? So break can be used only inside loop, just for breaking out the loop, right? So we can use it inside if condition only if this is inside a while loop, right? So only if this is inside while, right? So if I give this inside a while condition, then I can use a break statement, right? So in that case my program works fine just after printing hello, right? So in that case my program is going to perfectly work just after printing hello. But other than having any of the while condition, right? So other than having any looping statements, if we purely have only the if else condition with break, it will always throw an error, right? So let us move the next program. Okay, so here we have continue, right? So what will happen if we have continue, right? So already we have seen break statement will disturb your process. Same way continue is also going to stop the process, right? So continue will also make you get error if it is given inside a if else condition or other than any looping conditions, right? So now let us move the next program. And so here we are going to learn something about infix and prefix notation, right? So in pre-increment and post-increment. So what will happen is at first I have the number as -1 and -1 is assigned for both the variables a as well as b. Now I have given something like if of plus a equal to plus b. So now what will happen is plus a, it will modify the value of -1 to 0 equal to 0, right? So it will modify the value as 0 and 0. Now your final output will be just hi alone because we have 0 and 0, right? So 0 equal to 0, which is completely 0, so it will go for else part. So on the other hand, if I have this value as 2, right? So if I have this value as 2, now my output will be equivalent to hello, because we are just using an assignment operation, right? So we are using assignment operation. As a result, a value will be incremented once to 0. So now I have only a equal to plus plus b. So what happens is b will be incremented once, and now a value will be equivalent to 3, right? So this is what it happens when you use a pre-increment process, right? So if you have post increment, again it works in the same way, but still the output will be a different process, right? So see here, for this program I have something like if of a equal to plus plus b. So anyhow my output is going to be high for this program, right? So output is going to be high, and now if I have the value of b as 0, now my output is going to be hello, right? So in this case I can expect it as hello, because in the previous case I had -1, where -1 plus 1 gives me 0. So a will be equivalent to 0. So in that case it will go to else part. But if I modify this value as 0, right? So if I modify this value as 0, so a equal to plus plus b, right? So this value becomes 1, right? So 0 becomes 1. So if of a equal to 1 is considered as a true block, so it will go inside the if condition to execute hello, right? So now let us move the next program, and in next program we just have plus plus b, where the value of b is given as 0. So output is going to be hello itself. So already we have discussed the same program, and let us move the next program. Okay, so here I have b plus plus, right? So up to previous code we had seen something about pre-increment, and here comes with post increment, right? So post increment, so what will happen is, at first the value of a will be assigned with the value of b as 0. So as a result it will throw me the output as high, right? So for this code it is going to give me the output as high. Okay, so I have forgot to give that comment lines. Yes, so for this code your output is going to be high, right? So it is going to give you the output as high. But if I try to modify the value of 0 as 1, right? So if I try to modify the value as 1, now it is going to be hello, right? So this is how your program works, based on pre-increment as well as post-increment. So now let us move the next program, and see here we have something like b plus plus, and again we have plus plus. So let us see what happens on compiling this code. So it will show something like plus plus is actually not possible, right? So plus plus is not possible in this case. So if you give consecutive plus, right? So if you give 2 consecutive plus, it will execute that. But if instead if you have 4 consecutive plus, it will never accept the same, right? So that is the main reason why we are getting an error in this code. So now let us move the next program. So see here I have something like a mathematical operation. I have mentioned you already, like mathematical expressions will be calculated inside your if condition. So I have something like a divided by b into c, right? So anyhow it is going to return you the final output as any true block, right? So any mathematical numbers will be retrieved here. So your final output is going to be hello, right? So a by b and multiplied by c, right? So a by b, it is going to be 2, right? So 20 by 10, it is going to be 2 into 5, it is going to return you the output as 10, right? So that is why you are getting the final output as hello itself, right? So now similar to the same, we have one more program, right? So we have a into b divided by c, right? So now what happens is 200 divided by 5 will take place. Again your output is going to be hello itself, right? So no matter whatever values you are going to give, at last if you receive the value as 0 or purely 0.000, in that case alone it will go with displaying the else part, right? So now let us just clear this program and go with the next program. So see here I have something like a equal to 20, b equal to 10, c equal to 5 and d equal to 0. So now we are just executing the entire code, right? So we are just executing the entire code, and now I am just storing the process. I am storing the value at d, right? So assignment is done here, right? So now what happens is if this condition is true, I'll print the value of D. Else, if this condition is false, right, so if the value becomes 0, it will go with else part, right, so it will show either if is executed or else part is executed along with the value of D, right. So let us compile this once and look for the output. So here it is saying if is executed and D is 40, right. So if statement is executed and the value of D is going to be 40. So now let us move the next program. So again we have something like a multiplication statement, that is like 20 into 10 into 5. So it is again going to display the if part, right. So it is going to display if part. So definitely I can say the value of D is not going to be 0, right. So value of D won't be equal to 0. So it means if we compile this particular code, your final output is going to be only the if block that will be executed. So if is executed and D value is equal to 1000, right. So 20 into 10 into 5, which gives us the output as 1000. Now let us move the next program. Okay, so if of minus 10, right. So we have already seen about if of any number, right. So I told you about if of any numerical value will always be true. Same way, if of any negative value is also true, right. So if of any negative value is also true, and other than any non-zero value, right. So other than any non-zero value, all the numbers are always considered as a true block. So here if I try to execute this program, right, so if we try to execute this code, my output will be if part is executed, right. So now I can expect the output as if is executed, right. So this is mainly because if part can consider any number as a true value, but other than 0 it will consider each and every number as true. So let me remove this code and go with the next program. Right, so in next program I have something like a scan of %d comma ampersand b. So here what happens is, so I'm going to receive an input from the user, and A will be having output as 1, right. So A will be having the output as 1 because scanf statement has a return type, that is total number of values we are going to pass, right. So now no matter whatever values we are going to give as an input, at last it is going to display your output as 1, right. So A value will be displayed as 1. So let us compile this code. So see here I have given the input as 5, right. So I have given the input as 5, but in the output screen it is showing me something like A is equal to 1. So it means that scanf statement returns only the total number of characters or total number of input it is receiving from the user side, right. So now the next question, right. So here we have something like inside this if condition I have a for loop, but the for loop doesn't have any conditions or any initialization or any increment or decrement operation, right. So just we have semicolon and semicolon alone. So let us see what happens on compiling this code. So you can see an infinite loop displayed here, right. So see here infinitely if condition is executed, right. So the thing is, for with a semicolon without any termination point, it will be considered as a true block and it will run endlessly, right. So if I give /n over here and let me compile this code again, see it is running infinite times. See, still it is not yet stopped, and you can see the cursor moving down, right. So you can see this moving automatically over down. It means that it is an infinite loop, right. So now let us move the next program. Okay, so here I have something like A equal to 5 and B equal to 0, and I have something like if A greater than 4 or B++, right. So this particular symbol is considered as logical OR. So if any one of the condition is true here, I will be moving to the next part, right. So now what will happen is I am going to print the value of B. So you might think what will happen here. So here, since the first part itself is true, that is A value is 5, which is greater than 4 itself is true, so it will never go back to the remaining part to execute. As a result, it will directly print the B value as 0, right. So B++ will never be executed in this program. So it will go with the next part and display the final output as 0 itself, right. So let us compile this and check what output we are going to receive. So it will show if is executed and B is equal to 0. The main thing is this increment operation will never be taken place. But if I give the value of if I change it, if I just try to change the condition over here, so if I check A is greater than 14, my condition will be false, so it will check with B++, right. So B value is 0 already, but it is given as a post increment. So let us give something like b is equal to 1. So at once I have done with this particular statement, if I try to print the value of b, now I can expect the output is equal to 2. See here, now your output is displayed as b is equal to 2, right? So it is mainly because b++ is now executed, right? So now let us move the next program. So here we have something like ++a or ++b. Now ++a, right? So ++a means it is going to give the value of a as 6, right? So a will be equivalent to 6. So now if I try to print the value of, if I try to execute the program, this part will be true. As a result, the second part will never ever be getting executed. So my output will be 6 and then 5. So you can expect the output as 6 and 5. See here, it is displaying the output as 6 and then 5, right? So it is mainly because our part is not getting executed, right? So that's the main reason why a alone is getting an increment and b is still unchanged, right? So now let us go with next program. And when it goes with AND, right? So whenever it goes with AND, it will check for both the sides, right? So only if the condition before and after is true, it will be considered as a true block and it will execute. As a result, for this particular program, right? So for this program, your output will be 6, 6, right? So my output will be 6 and 6, right? So only if you have AND statement, right? So only if you have AND as a logical operator in between, it will execute both left as well as your right path, right? So now let us move the next program. And here I have something like a minus minus, right? So I have something like a minus minus. So it is a post increment process, right? So it is a post decrement process. Sorry, it is not increment, it is decrement. So first I will be checking with the value of a, and value of a is 1. So if of a will be considered if of a is true, right? Since it is post increment, it will consider if of a alone, where if of a is true. And now I have a minus minus. So if I try to print the value of a over here, right? So if I try to print the value of a, now my final output is going to be 0, right? So now let us compile this. And one more thing, since we have one more additional statement over here, it is throwing error. So let us remove that. And now if I compile this, my final output will be 0, right? So this is how your program logic works. And in case if you have minus minus a, right? So if I have minus minus a, what will happen is this 1 will be modified as 0. As a result, I will be displaying the output as 0 itself, right? So it will go with the else part and it will display 0. And if I have the input as 2, now my output is going to be 1, right? So based on the if condition, minus minus a will return the final output as 1, and the if part will be executed and a value will be displayed now. So now let us move the next program. And here we have something like the null character, right? So if of null, so let us see what happens over here, right? So I guess it will throw an error, right? So it is going to throw an error since we have a termination statement at last, right? So since I have a semicolon at the last, we can directly say the output is going to be error, where it will say an else part without a if condition, right? So let us remove this program and go with the next one. So if of null, right? So I have something like if of null, and we have something like printf if, and here it is high and else, right? So let us see what output it is going to display. So it is displaying the final output as else. It is because, right? So we can see the output as else because we have given the keyword as null over here. So if of null, it can't execute. Same way, else if of null, it can't execute. And now I have a else part where it completely execute and it uses the final output as else alone, right? So now let us move the next program. So here we have something like a equal to 5, and I have a predefined statement, right? So we have a pre-increment. So what happens is a is not actually greater than the remaining a, right? So because this a will be considered as 5 and here it will be considered as 6, so my final output will be else, right? So if you compile this program, your final output is going to be else part, right? So see here it is displaying else. So what if I have something like a plus plus, right? So if I have something like a plus plus, in that case my output will be if alone. See, in that case your output is going to be if. So now let us move the next program. And we have pre-increment, right? So I have pre-increment, that is a is minus 1 greater than plus plus a. So again the output is going to be false. So this entire condition is false, so it will go with else part to print the output as else. So here we have something like okay, I have a minus minus comma minus minus a, and I have a. So what happens is, if I try to compile this program, my final output will be else, right? So let us see why it is giving else. So here my value is 2. So what happens is, at first 2 will be considered here, then I have minus minus 2, right? So minus minus 2 becomes 1, and here I have 1, right? So based on this it is getting executed, but still before going with this, this value will be decremented one more time. So what happens is, at last for this a, I'll be having a value as 0. So now if I try to modify this value as 3, after 2 decrement the value remains as 1. So now I can expect my final output as if, right? So see here, now your final output is displayed as value as if, right? So it is based on the final value which we are going to consider. Same way, if I give some numbers like 1, 2 and 3, my output is going to be if. So in this case my output is going to be if. Same way, if I give something like 1, 2, 0, my output will be else, right? So it is always based on the last value which you have given inside the if condition, right? So if you have comma that is separating all the values which we have given inside the if condition, it always considers only the last element, no matter the first element is 0 or not. So it will always consider the last element, and based on your last element it will return you the final output. See here, now I am receiving the output as if, and my first value is 0 and last value is 1, right? So based on the last value it is always displaying you the final output, right? So now again you have given the value as 3. So after 2 successful decrementation your value will be 1. So now if of 1 will be true, so your final output will be if itself. So now let us move the next program. And here, as I told you earlier, it will take the last value. As a result, it is going to retrieve you the output as else part, right? So now it is going to retrieve the output as else part, and quickly let us move the next program. And here again the last value is equal to 0, right? So last value is 0, and now what will happen is, now if I try to compile this code, you will be getting the output as else part. So in the previous case what happened is, so if I have brackets over here, right? So if I have a brackets over here, it will consider the last element, but if I don't have brackets, so what happened is, this 1 will be initialized to a, and remaining numbers will be left out aside, right? So now it will display you the output as if. So for this program, it should give the output as if. Okay, so guys, see here, now if I try to print the value of a, right? So if I try to print the value of a, it is going to give me the output as 1 and not 3, right? So anyhow, if condition is going to execute, my output is going to be 3. Okay, so it is actually displaying you the garbage value. Sorry, I have given percentage a, right? So it should be percentage d, and it should be equal to 1, right? So based on the given one, so even though I have 1 comma 2 comma 3, it is not taking 2 and 3 to be initialized inside a. Instead it is initializing the value of a with 1. So instead of this, if I give the number as 50 and if I recompile this again, my output is going to be 50, right? So it is based on whether you are giving bracket or not, right? So if you give bracket, it will consider the last element. If you don't give a bracket, it will consider the very first element that is given along with that, right? So now my output will be 3. See here, now your output is displayed as 3, right? So now let us move the next program. So now for this program, see, we are going to use if else condition, right? So not if else condition, we are going to use a switch case, right? So in switch case what happened is, so first I have given a choice of 5, right? So switch of choice, so we have only case 1 and case 2, we don't have a choice as 5, so nothing will happen here. So program won't throw any error, and no output will be displayed, right? So no output will be displayed. As a result, it won't throw any error also, right? So now let us move the next code. So I have if of choice 1, so sorry, choice is given as 1, so switch of choice, right? So switch of choice, it will go with first case, and it is going to print hello, and it will stop the entire program, right? So now for this program, your final output is going to be hello alone, right? So we can expect hello. And what if I don't have this break, right? So if I don't have this break, I can expect the output as hello as well as hi, and this approach is called as fall through process, right? So this is called as fall through process, and or else we can also call as fall down approach, right? So it is also called as fall down approach. right? So whenever you have a case, and if it after executing that particular case, if it still goes with the remaining cases that doesn't have a break statement, it means that it is called as a fall down approach or fall through process. So now I have told you already, here we don't have a break statement. So what will happen is we have choice value as 1, so switch of choice, so switch of 1 will be executed. As a result, your final output is going to be hello as well as hi displayed, right? So your final output is going to be hello as well as hi. So now I have something like switch of choice -3. So let us see what happens over here. And we very well know inside if condition we can do mathematical operation. And let's see what happens if we give mathematical expressions inside switch case. So 5 is the value for choice -3. So it is going to print only the output as hi, where 5 minus 3 will be 2. So case 2 we have hi, right? So it means that it can consider the values that is given inside as a mathematical expression also, right? So even switch case can also consider the same. So now I have something like a switch of choice where choice is equal to 1. But here at once I come inside this, what happens? We are trying to increment the value of choice. So here what happens is this line will never be considered, right? So this will not be considered, right? So this is not considered. As a result, your final output is going to be switch of choice where choice is 1. So first case will alone be executed and it will stop your entire program. So now your output is going to be, right? So now your output is going to print only hello and it will stop the entire program, right? So this line will never affect your program, it will just print hello alone, right? So now let us move the next program. And here comes one more wow, right? So a wow question in C programming. And we have the value as 97, right? So I have in choice as 97. And here I have something like switch of choice, right? So you might expect your output is going to be high, but actually for this program your output is going to be hello, right? So if you try to compile this it is going to be error, right? So if you try to compile this code, we are getting an error where in this line it will say duplicate case, right? So it will show duplicate case label, where label is nothing but here this A is a character, it is considered as a label. This 97 is also a label where it is throwing duplicate case label over here, right? So because we very well know ASCII value of ASCII value of small a is nothing but 97, right? So even though we are passing this as characters, it will be considered as ASCII value as 97. And since I am passing it as 97, it is throwing a duplicate case label error over here. So if I give this as 98, there won't be any error in my program and it will display hello as my output, right? So it proves that this is not considered as a character, it is considered as a unique value, or it is considered as a ASCII value, right? So this is how switch case executes, right? So now let us move the next program. And here we have a mathematical expression over here, right? So 97 plus 1. So here it will consider the same and it won't throw any error. As a result, we are getting the final output as hello alone, right? So 97 plus 1 will be modified as 98. As a result, there is no such error in the program and we are receiving a proper output, right? So now let us move the next program. And again, if I have two same characters, again it is going to show the output as duplicate case label, right? So let me show you once. So it is going to show it as duplicate case label, right? So we have something like switch of choice, that is we are passing 97 and we have character A and B. So it is again going to print the output as hello alone, right? So switch of choice where 97 will be considered as the character A and it will display you the output as just hello alone. Now let me move the next program. So here we have 97 and 98, right? So now you might expect like 98 is in the first and 97 is given below this, then how will it get executed? So it won't affect anything. The output is going to be high alone, right? So for 97 we have given the printf statement as high, so it is just going to display your final output as high alone. Because so even though the case labels are in descrambled version, or even though we have replaced it in any order, the switch of choice will directly go to that particular case, so even though it is not in a proper order, right? So now let us move the next program, and here we have a default case, right? So I have a default case and I have case 98 as well as case 97. Since I have I'm passing the value as 97, it will display the output as just high alone, right? So for this, your output is just going to be high alone. See, it is just going to display you high alone, right? So what if I pass any other number other than this, right? So in that case, it is going to show the output as error, but it is not error in the program, it is just displaying the output as error, since I have given it inside the default case, right? So now let us move the next program. So I have switch of choice, where choice value is equal to 1, and here I have something like 1 plus 1, and here I have something like 3 minus 1, and here what happens is default case should be executed, right? So for this program, I can expect the default case to be executed. As a result, see, the final output is something like, okay. And guys, one more thing, 1 plus 1 will be 2, right? So here the case label will be 2, and what happens over here, 0 plus 3 will be 3, but 3 minus 1 will be 2. So here again a duplicate case label exists, right? So that is the main reason why it is throwing error in this case. So if I give this value as 4, and now if I try to compile this value will be equivalent to 3, so it is going to give you a proper output, right? So it is going to give you a proper output, and this is how switch case executes it. So hope you are clear with all the MCQs which I have delivered in this session, and in my future sessions I'll be teaching you about pointers and some other advanced concept of C programming, right? So this is how to learn basics of C programming, and now hope everyone are clear with this, and now you are ready to master the basics of C programming, right? So hope you like this video. Please do subscribe to my channel, Think Once, Code Anywhere.